What is up? We were just talking about it.
Exactly.
So we're back. This is the Stand Up and Shout Rock Show with Whisk and Kev, and we're live at Salisbury Center this evening on Friday night. It's live rock music tonight, and we're broadcasting live on the Wylde Style Network, fueled by Monster Energy.
There we go.
And we got Ray and Rick from Spread Eagle joining us in the studio. How's it going, guys?
Good, man.
Good. Thanks for coming in.
Did you say Monster? You drink a lot of the other stuff, though.
Red Bulls, Monster, anything that's got energy.
I was going to say, yeah.
It does like espresso, 5-hour energy,
triples,
Red Bulls, Monster. All I'm like, you're crazy, man.
I had my 5-hour.
One day it's like,
I got it someplace.
I'm coming to join you.
I love that we got you two in because we did not get to you. You two were not around for the first interview that we did with the other half.
Johnny and Rob.
Yes, I'm going to say, I think, do we have the better half now of Spread Eagle?
For sure.
This is the funnier half. They're so serious.
Yeah. We got you live, so thanks for coming up, especially before the show.
Yeah, man, I was napping.
Really?
He's like, you come on. I was like, okay.
Well, he just flew in.
I flew in today.
Okay.
And, it's this business one is like no sleep.
Right.
And
Right.
It no sleep fuels what we do. So
Yeah.
It's nice.
Yeah.
But I'm happy to be here. This is great.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool.
So speaking of no sleep, we heard you guys are just coming off that Monsters of Rock cruise.
Yeah.
Can you have any like stories to share about that, or tell us about that experience a little bit?
Go ahead, Ray.
I'd heard about it for so long. We never got to do it. We're like the band that, when is Spread Eagle going to be on the cruise? I got to the point where I stopped asking about it. But it was life-changing for me.
Yeah.
I loved it, man.
Yeah.
Because you're out there for 5 days. You're with like-minded people.
Sure.
And everybody's just really, they really get to focus in on the bands. And we had a pretty cool set the first night. I guess we closed out the pool.
Can you pull the mic just a little bit closer?
Yeah, I'm
Sorry.
turning in a little bit. It's
That's starting to sound like a warm-up.
but as far as stories, I mean, it's just the whole thing is like, think about it. It's a city at sea,
Right.
with like-minded people. This cool culture that appreciates hard rock and roll.
Yeah.
And everybody's very respectful and kind to the bands.
Yeah.
They come right up to you. I let them know. Someone said to me, "I want to make sure it was okay to say hi." I'm like, if you see me eating a fucking sandwich, you grab me and you say, "What's up, man?" And you said to come up and grab you. So they were grabbing me. But it was great. I mean, it's a real pro setup. Everybody is doing their sets. They're doing their tours, and they come there, and it's a culmination of a lot of great work.
Yeah.
I loved it, man. The sound was pro. The food was plentiful and bountiful.
Nice. Nice.
It was a great time.
Yeah.
What I thought was great, just that there were so many great bands, and that you could go. You're fans
Sure.
of them, and you just can go and see them. And sometimes they try to stagger them so you can see some, and then say there's 3 minutes into say Satch, Joe Satriani. I'm like, all right, I got to go see Satch. I'm with my wife, and I'm like, all right, cool. I saw 4 songs, but Queensryche is going on now, and I have to go see them. It's so cool because there's so many great bands, and you get to witness these guys that have been out there doing it just like as long as we have, but just at a different level,
Yeah.
And they were just mind-boggling.
Yeah.
Just that there were some bands were just so amazing, like Glenn Hughes. His band.
Yes.
Was
Oh my
unbelievable.
God.
Sure.
Like just goosebumps. I'm still on a high from it.
Yeah.
And besides seeing the music, you're sitting there having dinner, and they call it the artist dining. But you turn to the left, and 3 feet away is Rudy Sarzo having dinner, and to the right, is Glenn Hughes having. It's like, oh my God, I'm a fanboy here. This is amazing. I gotta, but I don't want to bother them while they're having dinner. But I'm like losing my friggin' mind.
And the artist party was cool. Remember? I wanted to meet Glenn Hughes really bad.
Sure.
I'm a fanboy.
Of course.
So my better half Sue says, let's just go up and say hi. And she's a big fan of the drummer Ash. And so she goes up and says hi to Ash. And you're probably standing next to me too, right? Yeah. And Ash is talking. She's like, nice to meet you. And he sees me and he goes, oh my God, Spread Eagle, I fucking love Spread Eagle. And he was just like, and I was like, holy shit. It made me really think back to like, we did a lot of damage back in the day. It was nice to be, appreciated.
Yeah, sure.
And you get to meet like-minded people who are just working their asses off.
Right.
So it was good, man. We really enjoyed it.
Excellent. Yeah, good deal.
I didn't want it to end.
Right.
Too fast.
Right.
I know they do them every year.
Right.
I would like to go and do it again if they ever invite us back, because it's that cool.
Yeah.
It's like heaven on earth, man.
Yeah. I met a guy that proposed to his wife on that cruise just so it could be an anniversary
Oh, that's cool.
return, like he was guaranteed to be locked in every year so long as there was a monster. Because he could just say, like, honey, we're going to go celebrate our anniversary where we got, where I proposed to you. And
there's nowhere to run to.
yeah, right, yeah.
If you get in a fight, there's nowhere to go.
right.
You'd be
You're on a
surprised. I met so many people there that couples that met other couples like 8 years ago, and that's the only time they see each other. They're from other sides of the world or the country, and every year they do the Monsters Rock Cruise, and that's the time that they get together and party again.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's a great. There was I forget the name of the movie. It's a documentary, but they similar to that, talking about the rock festivals and these crews that every year they hook up at Sonic Temple or what have you.
Yeah.
And they're all over the U.S. or the world in some cases, and that's where they meet, and it's all because of the music.
It's so cool.
It really does bring people together. It was just really cool to experience that. I'd heard about it so much. The cruise, got to do the cruise. I'm like, one day we'll get to do it. And now we don't want to get off it. I want to do every cruise that's out there. That'd be great.
Well, thanks for coming here tonight.
Well, thanks for having us.
Yeah.
Everywhere and anywhere.
Yeah.
We're looking forward to it. I mentioned, I know, Ray, you're one of the original members in the band, and mentioned to Rob, both Jeff and I work college radio down at Virginia Tech, but when the first Spread Eagle album came out, we were playing that all the time. So it's an honor to chat with you. Really looking forward to catching you guys play tonight. So
Right on, man. Thank you. We did a lot. There was a lot of work making that first album. When you're it was my first real studio experience. It was very eye-opening for me. I learned that I didn't know what the hell I was doing. Because you're on the mic and you have to see the guys producing you, and what's on that album is really raw, naive energy. And I don't think I could ever replicate that. I've tried.
Right.
And that's it. That's on the table. That record. That's it. That's on 11.
Yeah.
So I'm very proud of it. And we got Ricky. Ricky's this version of the band's been longer together than the original version.
Sure.
So it's a pleasure to have Ricky on board, because Ricky's he's like my brother. So it's great. It is family. It's great.
Yeah.
But thank you.
I asked Rob and Johnny about this. I love your label of East Coast street metal, how you describe your sound. It's a very specific label to me. And I asked what that meant to those guys. What does that mean to you, to have your sound being called East Coast street metal?
Ricky, you go first.
Just down and dirty. Non-pretentious. It's not trying to be anything. It's who we are. We don't put on costumes for just stage and then you wear it. We dress the way we dress. We play the way we play. We don't try to be anything specific. Except who we are.
Yeah.
And I think that's what that means to me. Is just down and dirty street metal.
Yeah, I think we take the energy and the vibe of the city, because we were living it like crazy, and we just made that happen. That's part of us. That goes onto the file. All the noise. The in-your-face attitude. It's very honest. It's very sincere. New York is very. It's like what's up? Can we curse? Can we curse on here?
Yeah,
absolutely.
It's like, what the fuck? That album's very what the fuck. Let's do this.
Yeah.
And it's a very sincere, high energy, sort of youthful kind of vibe to it.
Yeah. Very cool. Very cool.
yeah, and so a couple other albums have come out, released. You can see the band has matured and grown, and the sound is great. We love all the material. So Rob and Johnny mentioned you guys are working on some new material. So something else coming up down the pike soon?
Yeah, man, we got a few in the can. Ricky's working on some things right now too. He's adding some drum tracks to things. Yeah. We've been playing so much that we've been distracted from the art of going to the studio. And now that we have a little bit of time between gigs and things like that, we're going to make it happen. And from being on the boat, and it's you want to keep producing. We're at the point we want to write more.
Right.
Sometimes just lay back and obviously I don't want to wait another 30 years before we write our album, but we have it in us, and I think it's got to get out. So it's in the works, and I'm sure it'll be a grand old time.
Like a shot of inspiration.
Sure,
all of a sudden you need that sometimes.
Yeah.
Sure.
It becomes mundane.
Right. Because the cruise is like, we got to write this record now.
We gotta go. Yeah.
So what is that creative process for you all then? Like, how are you coming up with your original material? What's how are you, is there specific roles that people have when you generate new music, or?
It's open pretty much.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's collaborative. Robbie's got a lot of great ideas. Ricky's got a lot of great ideas. We just brought Johnny in, so Johnny is now going to put his signature on this stuff, and he understands, the flavor of things. He's really captured the nuance of what we are. And because we feel like each album we progress more, we evolve more.
Sure.
I don't want to write the first album over again.
Right.
I love the energy of it.
Sure.
But I'm not a person who likes to repeat himself.
Sure.
And I'm sure we'll evolve into something really cool. We've learned a lot from playing together these past couple of years. So I think it'll translate.
Sure.
So we've talked a few times on our show and with other musicians, the technology, how it's changed over the years. You mentioned going into the studio to do the first Spread Eagle record, and now, you can do it you could have a home studio,
right.
or, you're not necessarily putting albums out and you don't go to the record store anymore a lot of people don't, to buy their music. Do you think technology, how it's changed over the years from when you started, is that good or bad?
Well, you lose the warmth of being together in a room together, but Ricky has a home studio, really nice size studio, right? He's got his drum set there, and he can lay his drums down there, but I don't know, we probably like to, I love the idea of getting in a room and slamming ideas together, but technology makes it so everybody can record separately, obviously, but you lose some stuff there, what I mean? It's always clean. You lose that cool dirt between the tracks, the gray area, the nuanced stuff.
Well, I think that's what it is as well, because we still, in a sense, record old school style. We'll still go through an old vintage Neve. We'll still go to a studio that's got a nice sized drum room, because it's all about the sound in between the notes that are being hit.
Sure.
So what's created behind the actual notes, and to capture that. A lot of, I think, bands, they're staying so digital and just recording everything so close that it misses that, and there's no depth to the audio itself.
Sure.
Sonically, it's missing, like you said, the nuance,
right.
And it sounds, there's no depth. It's very superficial to me.
Sure.
The sound, the quality. It's
Right.
And you can
missing that.
tell.
Right.
You can tell by
You
listening
don't
to
hear the
records.
room sound of the drums or any instrument for that matter. And I think that's what music nowadays loses, that identity, because if you solo up, say, drum tracks of a new band, everybody's using the same triggers. And
Right.
or amp sims, and you can't tell. And back in the 80s and 70s, you could solo up and you go, oh, that's definitely Alex Van Halen's drum sound.
Right.
You could tell who the drummer was.
Right.
Or guitar players, for that matter, as well.
Right.
And I think nowadays it's lost that.
Yeah.
People are using the same simulations, like I said, amp sims or triggers, and of course it sounds the same because everybody has the same plugins. Instead of being creative in the studio and going, let's try a different mic on the cabinet, or try, mic placements themselves will definitely change the sound.
And there's something to be said about, like, recording in a cool studio and having the guys behind the glass busting your balls. Things go up another level.
Right.
Well, especially if you're, say, in Electric Ladyland, you're like, well, how many bands are?
Oh, yeah.
There's something magical about being in,
right.
certain studios
Sure.
that other bands recorded
Yep.
there. That all of a sudden that can translate to you because it gives you inspiration.
Sure.
As well.
Sure.
Instead of going, okay, I'm doing this in a basement, and the guy's just got a computer. Whoop-de-doo.
And anybody can open up their laptop, put in some software,
Right.
and record and then drop their record on SoundCloud and tell their friends my album's dropping.
Right. Right.
Come check out my new album.
Right.
I still say album. I still say things like
Sure.
tape. Like, it's in my DNA.
Yeah, no doubt. So, in all of that conversation, just reminds me in our first conversation with Rob and Jami, something just to remind people, because I know there's people listening in the lobby. There may be some people listening live, but something that was brought up in that conversation that I loved, that everything that they're seeing tonight is live. There's no backing tracks. It's all genuine. So people that are here or will be coming here are going to see that. They're going to see a genuine live rock show.
It's a rock band.
Yeah, I mean, I understand a lot of bands using it to fortify their sound, but it sort of locks you into this box.
Right.
And you can't really add them. You can't really have fun with that.
Right.
And I love being outside the lines.
Right.
So everybody in this band sings, and we're all working on singing better all the time. So no tracks, man. No,
Yeah.
we're not insecure.
As a
we
drummer,
sing.
I think it's unfun.
It's got to be
Yeah.
perfect, man.
You have constantly having the click going. It's like you have to be. I don't know. It becomes more of a job. And to a point, it is a job, but there's a point of you have to have fun at work.
Sure, of course.
And
of course.
to me, if I had to hear a click track on every song and a
Right.
count in, and God forbid you get off of that,
Right.
you know, then it's a nightmare. And
Right.
just like we've heard and read so many times before, bands canceling because their laptop was stolen or it broke.
Right.
Wait a minute, you're a musician.
Right.
Plug in and play.
Yeah.
Just plug in and have some fun.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
it's not
I knew,
rocket
I, knew
science.
some,
It's rock.
I knew some guys that were like that one night. They couldn't get their tracks going. We're not going to play the gig, man, but just muscle through it. No, man, we can't do it.
Well,
We're insecure.
it kills the energy and the vibe of live music.
Exactly.
Now, some bands do use it, and God bless them. You know what I mean? If you need it, you need it. But as far as vocals, I'm against it.
Sure.
I'm against it.
Yeah. Is there, speaking of, we were talking about recording, but in terms of live venues, you guys have seen a lot of live venues, and we just talked about the Monsters of Rock cruise. Are there other places that are memorable for you in terms of where you've been or toured that maybe stood out in terms of the energy or the sound or a combination of both?
Yeah, I like the whiskey.
Of course, yeah.
Great. Vamped.
The whiskey is like putting on a nice warm coat. Vamped is great.
Vamped in Vegas. Was
Okay.
great.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
the northeast rooms. Northeast room. Man, there's just so many.
Sure.
It's hard to pin.
But for me, it's the rooms like the whiskey. I love venues like that.
Yeah.
You walk in, everybody's pro, and it's just great sound. It doesn't take much to make it. It's a great place.
Sure. Sure.
The house engineers
It's
is fabulous.
Okay.
They
It's
know
got,
the
and,
room.
again,
You just have to open.
I'm punch
speak a
drunk.
little
I'm so punch
a
drunk
little
and tired
louder
right
to open up that gate.
All right, so I think we'll probably have to close out because it sounds like Effadol's, I think it's going to go on very soon, right, John? Our sound engineer happens to be the sound engineer for the live music also, so we can't chew up all the time.
He's running all over the place.
He's
He
awesome.
is. He is.
He's awesome,
He's
man.
amazing.
And those guys are really gentlemen. Mm-hmm. It's cool to walk into a venue and the guys are cool.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
everybody's
friendly.
Some people come up and they don't know how to. We're just regular people.
Sure.
Like you, just come up and say hi. Let's get this shit going on. Let's work.
Sure.
And it's just nice to be at a place where people are warm and friendly and very cool.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
generous.
Cool. That's good to hear. And the owner's sitting right there, so I'm sure he's thrilled to hear that too.
Oh, fantastic.
Can you say a louder, please?
And also, can you lend me $1,000? Just
I've asked that question. I hope it goes better for you.
or Red Bull. Or Red Bull's fine.
we like Red Bulls.
Yeah. All
Or
right.
Monster.
Yeah.
Sponsored by Monster.
Absolutely.
It's better than what we're used to like, so we're still here to talk about it.
Yeah. For sure.
I do want to ask you though, because we just had a conversation, Kevin and I. We do different segments on this show, especially when it's just us. This segment's called Bottoms Up. So we rank our top 10 albums from a time period from the bottom to the top. That's the Bottoms Up. We just went over 1984. I showed you guys, it's just some of the old picture cards of album covers from 1984, and just so that people could know, you have some favorites from 1984.
May I?
Of course, you
I'll have to
absolutely.
see.
Yeah.
I can't
Van
remember
Halen,
1984.
1984.
Like you could throw it, show it up to the video.
The
Yeah,
bottom to you.
yes, there you go. It'll flash there on the video.
And the winner is.
The namesake of the year.
That is.
I don't know about
for
that.
sure.
Wow, all right, yeah.
Jeff, we gave him a 2-minute signal.
We got a 2-minute signal.
Of course, there's Dio.
Dio,
for sure.
When I
of
saw
course.
Dio, Dokken opened up for them.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's a good show.
That was
That's a
back in the-
great
that
show.
was-
Tooth and Nail's
It had to be
1984
Tooth and-
album.
yeah.
All right,
Yeah,
so then-
yeah, yes,
I
yes.
saw that as well.
Back in the 1900s. And Twisted, you're a Twisted Sister.
Yeah,
man.
Long Island band.
Of
so
course.
I definitely
Of
followed
course.
the Twisted Sister.
Yeah.
I'm
Peppers.
not ashamed.
Max is Kansas City, right? Because I've never been there, right? That's a New York venue.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's Twisted Sister. They're kind of claim.
Twisted
Yeah.
Sister,
And the Peppers album, man.
Isn't that crazy? I mean, people forget that their first album came out in 1984.
What's the
Yeah.
track on that they released?
True Men Don't Kill Coyotes?
I'm not familiar, to be honest.
Dokken.
I was a huge George Lynch fan. Yep. So that's
I
definitely.
like
one.
Dokken. The lyrics were a little light, but I like Dokken. Y&T, they seem to be everywhere.
Yeah.
They were like a big MTV band.
Sure. Oh, yeah. That was.
Did
the
they do
peak.
Lipstick and Leather?
Yes, that's on that album. Love that. I love that song.
great.
Yes.
If you got something, you.
No, that was it.
Black and Blue. Auto Blast. We did the cruise with them.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
They were on.
That's
They were
right. They
great.
were.
They were good. They were
Billy
good guys.
Idol.
Billy
yeah,
Idol.
for me, yeah. I dug it.
Remember the Steve Stevens solo album?
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
Anyway, next.
Yeah.
He's not going to like me very much.
That was a big one for me.
Yes, I remember.
That's the hard.
The
Metallica.
Ride the Lightning.
Ride the Lightning.
Ride the
was
Lightning.
huge for me.
You know, that band's come a long way, and they just started on 10.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
They were so
Right.
special and different at
Yeah.
the time.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
And the
Never
more,
stopped.
The more raw it is, the more I dig it.
Yeah.
You know, Rat. Oh Oh my God!
Right out of the
this
cellar.
record is amazing.
Yes,
Yeah.
of course. That
You
was
all know them,
that was
Thomas.
our unanimous number one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was great.
And the that came
Yeah.
What's this one?
Love It for Sting, Scorpions.
Oh my God!
Another, oh man. it's
Klaus
great.
Meine is like the greatest balladeer of all time.
No, it's when rock ruled the radio, man.
Yeah.
Yep.
All that
Absolutely.
shit was on there.
Absolutely.
You guys like the early Scorpion stuff, like
Love
Robot
it.
Man,
Love
and
it.
Trance.
Of course.
That's the good shit.
Love it.
Good
Absolutely.
shit. And Black
Black and Blue, and there's your
Still love
slide it
it,
in,
yeah.
there's your
Yeah,
White
But
Snake.
my favorite on that stack, of course, is Van Halen.
Cool.
Van Halen, and then after that, Ride the Lightning.
I was going to ask if it was going to be Metallica for you.
Van Halen number 1, and then Ride the Lightning.
Excellent.
Awesome.
Those Van Halen shows back in the day when I was, oh my God. It was like going to the circus, man. It changed my life.
Of course.
Sure.
I'm like, I want to be a dancing monkey too.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you're on your way.
Thank you. Where's my banana daiquiri?
Well, again, we want to thank you for taking some time coming up, especially when you're getting ready to play, and looking forward to the show.
Can't wait to
This
see the show.
is very cool that you guys do this.
Oh,
This is
excellent.
awesome.
Yeah.
This is
yeah.
very cool.
We love it. As you're saying, we love our jobs.
Yeah, man.
Yes.
You have to.
Yeah, absolutely.
This is awesome.
I had no idea. This is great.
And we got to have this conversation. Like, I was lucky enough to have this conversation, so thank you very much.
I'm, doing this and resurrecting this band is a labor of love. We love it, man. And I love being out here and meeting all you guys.
Yeah,
And just
yeah.
connecting with people.
Yeah.
It makes it all worthworthwhile. Let you know why you're doing it.
Absolutely.
There's still a love for rock and roll. And,
Of course.
I preach.
Awesome. All right, we're going to wrap it up.
Awesome.
And we'll see you next time on Stand Up and Shout Rock Show.
Thanks, guys.
Cheers, guys.
Thank you
Thanks,
guys
guys.
very much, man.
Yeah, that was a good
awesome.
time. Yeah, thanks for coming up.
You guys are awesome.
Yeah, no,